Allah, zero.
One T, yeah, one T, yeah, one T.
So kalian
Thank you.
We are hosting the former #1 gentleman of the land, His Majesty the King today. Thank you very much, and we welcome everyone to this important program. I want to know this Okambara Habi Pierre na Joa Yeleti Yara Yezu Madapson. And also get informed that we have our regional executives who are heavily represented here. Constituency executives are also here. We have council of elders from regional level, council of elders from constituency level. The council for the party NDC are also represented here. For just for those to be able to do that. kule kama take ta na wuce kulma aiti da wayane inda yana da mama abi kan shire da komiro ko ayu taba to wanda kulma kan yire da ya wayada kwa kulma ka ita furiyo alisababia ndio tinde ya daga mai manka tuko kawo asashani ya kitam General Secretary for NDC, General Secretary NDC.
We have the representative of Nayam Kubana being led by to receive you. We have Nayame Natwana Na Mahamabuilding, the fifth year.
Senior members of the party from Dagon and from Northern region, led by Alhaji Hudu Yaya. So with his kind courtesy, Alhaji Mahamabuilding, former foreign minister of the Republic, former running mate of the Republic, will do the introduction of our special guest of honor. Thank you.
Your Excellency, I want to be welcome guest by Liliana, Executive, National, Regional and Constituency Executives of the NDC, esteemed guests, the media, ladies and gentlemen, honored citizens of Dagon. It is a great pleasure and deep respect that I extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the NDC, as he processes his presence in the Dagon Palace.
Chiefs of Dagon, residents of Gindi, my comrades and friends who have accompanied me here, I want to thank my father, Diana, for the very warm welcome he has given me today when I arrived at the Bewa Palace. This is not my first time of visiting this palace, and any time that I have come, he has received me like a son who has returned from a journey. We sent this message just a few days ago, and I'm impressed by the number of your chiefs who have come to join you to welcome us to this palace. Thank you very much. That if your son becomes president, you will not be testy anymore. The Yendi water supply system will be a priority for the new NDC government. And Diana, I want to thank you for the initiative you have taken. There can be no progress without peace and security. Recently, armed robbers have become a menace in Yendi and surrounding areas. I'm informed that you set up a committee, including your assemblymen, to deal with the problem. We will make sure that we get rid of the armed robbers who are persecuting you, so that our people can live in peace and travel and do their work without fear that they will be harmed or killed. Diana, we started the Eastern Corridor Road project, and it was supposed to include the Yendi Township roads. Unfortunately, the Eastern Corridor has come to a standstill. I know some of the Yendi Town roads are being worked on. I can assure you we'll continue and finish all the town roads, but more importantly, we'll continue the Eastern Corridor Road so that anytime you're going to Accra or to the southern part, you have an easier ride all the way to Tema instead of going to pass through Tema. Diana, into a major municipal referral hospital. It was in our manifesto in 2016, it was in our manifesto in 2020, and I can assure you it's going to be in our manifesto again in 2024. Yendi Hospital will be the major referral hospital in this whole eastern corridor, so that all the smaller hospitals, if they have cases they cannot manage, they'll bring them here to Yendi instead of going all the way to Tamale. And so that is another promise we make to you. I assure you that we will work closely with you to make sure that Dagon remains peaceful and progresses, and that the people are economically empowered to be able to look after themselves and family and live in dignity and prosperity. I'll say this last one in Dagbali, so that you all understand. And India, Yenina Yanga, and Diana, India, Yenina Yanga, and Diana, Bogaya, Nipi, Yenina Yanga, Natural.
Regional Chairman and Secretary, my colleague members of Parliament, and shout out my good friend who has come to see how the youngest in the state. And and la baby is our mom. The moment I hear, no knowing the bomb, Kabakadu, Bama Kasuru, no Marco. Onko chawate nya kpakpolo pormo kuna bato kuna na kanin kurge yalba ne katala ne be lapse kpakpuyama in lapse kpakpuyala kinda agba shelma mbara so in lapse excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mr. President and President of the Fourth Republic, I intend to speak on two major items. When I hear the MPP say that Bawumia is experienced in government and will benefit from the opportunity of hindsight, and that is John Dramani Mahama. And see, when I hear the MPP say that Bawumia is leading a digital revolution, probably they don't even know how a revolution starts. To quote Alhaji Hudu Yaya, is not to make your table nice, this is a spoon, this is some cutlery, or no. The foundation of a digital Ghana was led by the NDC and led by Edward Salia and subsequently succeeded by John Dramani Mahama. Then subsequently, before you had the like of Kandapa Maikokwe Haruna Idrisu. So if you want how digitalization started in Ghana, check your history and check the records well. It began under John Mahama when he hived telecoms from Posta. Remember, go back to history. He had to hive the postal sector from the telecom sector. That is why you people started saying Mejina Bontina Mikasa. You remember, that was the beginning of the digital revolution. The introduction of mobile telephony into our country. So today when you hear digitalization, Dr. Baumia, are you doing that man on smartphones? If there was no mobile telephony of MTN on the GSM platform, would there be digitalization? Somebody somewhere had to start the digital revolution. Indeed, President Mahama and the NDC, Inye Solomon, Ankuba Ho, Hanu Kulungugu, under President Mahama, there was a Norwegian funding of 28 million euro to lay fiber from Ho to Kulungugu. Go and check the record and check from the embassies. So when you say you want to be digital, you need to build infrastructure. The infrastructure, some, to be fair to them, commenced under Kufuor, but built upon John Dramani Mahama. So after infrastructure, in fact, what the NPP did right, I'll give them one credit, was legislation to pass the laws, reforms. But after reforms were the laws. Now when Baumia says that digitalization, hear him well, oh. I'm not sure he himself even understands digitalization. The NDC concept of digitalization and John Mahama's concept of digitalization, listen, is simply to mainstream ICT in all aspects of our national life. Full stop. That is what John Mahama is talking about when he says, I want to introduce digitalization into the public sector. So that when you commit a crime, today, people are still doing mobile theft, mobile money transfer theft. Where there is proper digitalization, it should be easy to arrest them. Because that Ghana card coincides with your what? Your ID card together with your mobile number in order that anonymity is eliminated. We are not there yet. So Dr. Baumia, be fair and appreciate that somebody somewhere laid the foundation for a digital Ghana. In fact, the NDC lances more mobile telephony companies than any administration under his watch as Vice President and then President of the Republic. My final message, the General Secretary of the party is here. President Mahama is making one important promise to Ghanaians, that he will undertake major constitutional and administrative reforms that secures the stability of our democracy and the stability of our economy. So not just constitutional review, some will be administrative reviews. He will lead and provide leadership in providing that. Then Katina Kuna Dagba. Someone tap can not Zampawa na Dwapia, can you to Chafunyo, Aname Umla? Manta Pao, can Zampawa na try, can I know tap man is a Chafunyo? It was under my colleague Honorable Inusa Husseini that in cabinet under President Mahama, the concept of an Eastern Corridor route was conceptualized, even under President Mills. It was conceptualized, thought through, initiated, and acted upon. That is why you have those Brazilian companies come and do the road here. Mampa Dolgushao. Agubano Soma like Adolma. Tolia Social Joma and America Kungushama. Levin Chanton of the Devotional Kuntamalma, Leia, Swama, even Yarle. I assume the party Matakai is to form majority in parliament. There's one to so Lawyer Jofa. Tell you all a cowley. Yina Shamwa, that him la polling station number. It is John Mahama Zoo, Lawyer Jofa.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be with you this afternoon for this town hall meeting. As you've already been told, it is the Building Ghana tour. Tuma Tumtum Danyala Building Ghana tour. Tiyangala Ghana za Kaman Tamana Bantum Tumaza, man students, man nurses, so come engineer and toxic ka to bang bumbora now to Nasara Tia Nangsham and Taba. So the first one who spoke was for metal workers, and he spoke on behalf of all people who work with metal. We've met some of your colleagues in other places, steel benders and all of them, and they've put their case before us. Who do Macheling you? And so we have captured all the concerns that they have put, and we have it on the laptop. The lady at the back there has a laptop, so she's captured all of it. I also want to thank Chief Ubor Wumbe of Bumbonaili for his very exciting contribution. He spoke about education, especially secondary and basic education, and also tertiary. There's a lot that is wrong with our secondary and basic education, basic schools to even use. And so that is part of the problem. Apart from that, this government has not been eliminating schools under trees. And so we continue to have a lot of schools that are in very poor condition. When NDC was there, anywhere there were schools under trees and children were not learning in very good conditions, we came and built a new classroom block for them. What we're going to do now is for any new schools that we built, we'll prioritize teacher accommodation. Because one of the reasons why teachers don't want to stay is because they don't have accommodation. Sometimes they go to a village, there's no accommodation to even rent. So he has to stay in Yendi and transport himself every day to the school. And so any new school that we build will come with enough accommodation for teachers. And the schools that exist, we're going to prioritize adding accommodation to the existing schools so that at least the head teacher and a few of the teachers can get a place to stay and be able to teach their children. The free SHS is also an issue. We want to make it better. And so I've said that in order to improve the quality of their feeding, we're going to take the feeding from the centralized national food buffer stock, and we're going to give it to the headmasters to make sure that they feed their children. So we will pay the feeding grants to the headmasters, to the schools, and the headmasters will be responsible for procuring the food for the children. We'll just make sure that they follow the guidelines, because the guidelines are that you must buy food produced in Ghana. And so if it's rice, you must buy local made in Ghana rice. If it's chicken, you must buy locally processed chicken, so that our farmers too can benefit from the school feeding. With regard to tertiary education, we try to make sure that we spread it in such a way that every area has some tertiary education. It includes nursing training schools, it includes colleges of education, it includes technical universities, it includes universities, and so on and so forth. And so when we come, we'll look at the map again. We make sure that there is a tertiary institution within reach of a number of traditional areas or a number of districts. And so that's something that we'll look at, Chief. Then he also talked about empowering chiefs in order that they are able to perform their traditional functions. We have made that part of the responsibility of the district assemblies, so that they empower their local traditional chiefs to be able to carry out their responsibility. We're also going to allow chiefs to have a representative on the assembly, so that 10% appointed members of the assembly will allow the chief to have a representative amongst the appointed members on the assembly. Then the next problem is jobs, jobs, jobs. Youth unemployment is a major threat to this country. When we were in office, the total unemployment figure was 8%. Today it has doubled to 14%. So 14% of our young people come out of school and they can't find jobs. And so the next NDC government was known for infrastructure. We did a lot in infrastructure. We're going to continue infrastructure, but this time we're going to turn our attention to livelihoods and entrepreneurship, so that young people can set up their own businesses and also employ others to work for them. Because the public sector is not a sector that can absorb everybody. Because if you look at our population, we're a population of 30 million people in Ghana. The current number of people employed in the public sector, nurses, teachers, doctors, soldiers, police officers, watchmen, security people, everybody, the total number of people employed in the public service is 700,000 out of 30 million. So it means that government must work so that we create more employment in the private sector. And so that's where we're going to put a lot of investment, so that we can bring factories here to process shea butter, to process cotton, to process textiles, and a lot of other things, to process groundnut oil, to process all kinds of vegetable cooking oils, so that our young people can also get work to do. We had what we call the Youth Enterprise Support Initiative. We're going to reintroduce it. It was an initiative that was meant to teach young people how to set up their own businesses. We must not all leave school and expect that we should be employed by government or by somebody. We also can become self-employed. We can help ourselves to become better and be able to employ others. When we started the Youth Enterprise Support Initiative, 6,000 young people applied. And out of that, we selected the fair space of them, almost 1,000 of them. And what we do is, you write a feasibility study, you show the business you want to engage in. We come, we inspect the site where the business should be, and then we give you the support to do that business. Most of the time, it is equipment. We'll buy the equipment for you, and we'll give you a little capital to start. And we'll be coming to see how you are doing and advising you so that you know how to run the business. And some of those that we set up are still in good business. There was a lady who left the University of Science and Technology, and she said she wanted to do aquaculture. And so we helped her with cages, and she put them on the Volta Lake. We helped her with the fingerlings. We gave her the feed, and she was producing tilapia. She had a cold van. She was supplying all the restaurants in town with tilapia, and she made a lot of money. She employed 20 people. So instead of becoming an employee, she became an employer, and she employed 20 people, created 20 jobs. So those are the kinds of things that we can do. We will finance the Youth Enterprise Support Initiative out of the Ghana Exim. We set up the Ghana Exim Bank. When this government came, they just dissipated it, giving it mostly to people they know, political party chairmen and others. We are going to stop that and make sure that the money goes to Ghanaians who can utilize it to create jobs for our young people instead of political party apparatchiki. Tain talked about Alawa, that the Alawa is not coming. In 2016, I told you that we were going to invest in building more CHIPS compounds for you, more hospitals for you, so that we can expand the opportunities for more people to be employed. We're building new community day schools, and so I suggested that we're going to substitute the Alawa with student loan scheme. And unfortunately, our opponents said no, they can pay the allowance. And so I know a lot of you voted against us because we said we were substituting with the student loan scheme. But the reality is that we've upgraded most of your institutions to tertiary institutions. And so for equity's sake, we said let's put all our students on student loan. We'll give you the loan, you pay your school fees, and then you only pay when you get a job. If you leave school and you don't have a job, nobody will come and ask you to pay the student loan. But when we employ you and you get a job, then we'll start deducting it bit by bit from your salary, so that it goes back into the student's loan scheme, so that your younger sister who is following you can also get it to be able to pay her fees. That is a more sustainable way. And that's why we said we're going to substitute it so that we'll use the Alawa to build more hospitals, more CHIPS compounds, finish the community day schools, so that when you come out, your posting will be automatic because the classrooms will be there. We need the teachers to go and teach. And so we'll look at it when we come. Posting. We've talked, especially for the teachers and nurses. For the teachers, we've said we'll take away licensure exams. Your licensing as teachers will be part of your final year academic work, so that when you come out, you don't have to take another exam to become teachers. And then also, once we introduce the student loan scheme, we will take away the quotas, so that we're able to bring more students into your schools. Right now, because they have reintroduced the allowance, which does not even come, they restrict the number of people who can come into the school because they cannot pay the allowance. But I'll appeal on your behalf, and so I'm talking to President Akufo-Addo and Vice President Baumia that the students that you promised the allowance are sitting here with me in Yendi, and they are asking you to come and pay their allowances. That they haven't received their allowances. Maybe you've forgotten. They said I should remind you that they are waiting for their allowances. So please pay them. And vehicle waivers. The vehicle waivers, we're going to sit with your executives again. The vehicle waivers were taken away because some unscrupulous people, instead of buying the vehicle for themselves, they were conniving with car dealers, and then they import the vehicle in their name. But then they take some money from the car dealer, and the car dealer sells the car commercially. And so we're not achieving the purpose for which we were giving the vehicle waiver. So we're going to sit, if we can get a system where any car imported under the vehicle waiver is used exactly by the person it's supposed to benefit, then we'll be able to reintroduce it. We brought the vehicle waiver because sometimes nurses and doctors and others have to be called in the night to go on emergency. You don't expect them to come and stand by the roadside and be looking for Okada or Mama Kandu to be able to go to work. And so if we're able to safeguard it, so that they don't, that thing that happened where they were selling the cars to car dealers is stopped. If we're able to do that, I don't have any problem with us introducing the vehicle waiver. Then medical insurance. I do think that medical workers who are working should be insured, because you get in touch with patients who have all kinds of diseases. You also can get sick and even die. Many medical personnel have lost their lives because of the nature of their job. And so it's a good suggestion. We have put it in there. And then also abolition of national service for teachers and medical personnel. We've also captured that so that we will go and rationalize it. So these are the main items that you talked about. GES, we will strengthen GES and shake it up so that it does the work that it's supposed to do in order to improve our educational system. And we will allow teachers and headmasters to talk freely. Right now, they are oppressed. If you're a headmaster and you say anything critical about the educational policy, they will either sack you or they will transfer you. Our children have no textbooks. No headmaster can talk. I can talk because they can't do anything to me. But the head teachers and the teachers are all afraid to talk because this is a very oppressive government, very unforgiving, intolerant. You must not criticize them. And so I say that the Independence Day for headmasters and teachers and all those who know what is wrong but cannot talk, the second Independence Day, apart from Ghana's Independence Day, is coming for them on 7th January 2025. They will be free to talk because you need criticism in order to improve a system. If things are not going well and you say people should shut up, then you can never get it right. And so under us, they will... this doctor. So that you know what is going wrong and then you can correct it. And so headmasters and teachers all over the country, I'm telling you, 7th January 2025, you'll be free again. You can say what is wrong and we'll work with you together to make it right. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Except that our respected Northern Regional Chairman, Chairman Adolf, is expected to give
Shama Sopalia. Mba John Dramani Mama. We shall know Chaman Pin you Galipia. Nitty Yalia, Nitanda Sang, Nitty VC Shelly, I Yunda, Kabang, Lan Yirmani Yaliga Shelly, Nya Ompun Namda Shelly, Kanya Ompil Shella, Little Quelle, Zanchang to the Kurga Vogue when yellow and Tampuli. John Dramani Mama the Cowley. We shall be yelling, come on, yelling. Nothing can know, I didn't yell. Nothing can know, the lawyer can pull it by the show that some other. We love loving your flow. The W near me. Who won the presidential candidate who sent the MPP Manula, the Dr. Bumbo, Dr. Bumbiakala. Betien declare you resource ma. Shawan no yellow, Mumpla, double 20. Dr. Bumia, attention match upon Nula.
I'm going to speak in English, and then after that, I'll try a little Dagmani, and then I'll leave the rest to Salam to finish it. As I want to thank you for the warm welcome and the massive turnout that we have received here in Bushegu. We are here on the Building Ghana tour, and the Building Ghana tour is to meet Ghanaians of all walks of life, to hear from you directly what your concerns and challenges are. We are certain that NDC is going to win the election and come into office. And so we want, before we come into office, to know what it is you want us to do for you when we win the political power. Because NDC is a government that comes to serve the people, not to lord it over the people. We know that currently our country is in crisis. The elephant came, and since then they have destroyed our economy completely. Every Ghanaian is going through hardship. Here you call it Saman knowledge. Saman knowledge. Yelim kuto da, nyule kuto da, pam kuto da, numde kuto da, Saman knowledge. And so, Chief's compounds. There are many communities in Bushegu area here. We're going to connect to electricity. When we left office, the project has stalled. And so for those communities that have been waiting for more than 8 years for light, you can rest assured that when NDC comes, the light will be connected so that you can also get power. And so we'll do infrastructure. But more than infrastructure is the issue of jobs. We're going to concentrate on providing jobs for young people. And so we're going to help small and medium enterprises. And that is why we're going around and listening to you, especially professional groups, so that you tell us what those challenges you are facing are. And say Bushegu Dressmakers Association. And so when we come, we'll give the loan to Bushegu Dressmakers Association, and then you will distribute it to your members, and you'll be responsible for collecting it back. When you collect it back and you pay, we'll give you a bigger one, and you distribute it. When you pay, we'll give you an even bigger one, so that you all can be able to do business and make ends meet and be able to feed your families. We also had a program when we were in office we used to call Less Them. And Less Them used to help small and medium enterprises. And so if you remember, we used to come and give you sewing machines, we used to give you embroidery machines, overlock machines, we used to give the hair dryers, combs, hair dryers, steamer machines, and so on and so forth. The mechanics, we used to give them tools boxes. Welders, we used to give them small welding machines. Plumbers, and everybody had their fair share. And so you have an umbrella organization that is called SIBA. It is the Council of Indigenous Business Associations. And all your associations belong to that body. So GABA and all of you, you are part of SIBA. And so through the SIBA organization, we're going to supply these equipment as microcredit to you. And you take it and you use it and you pay it little by little until you're able to pay it off, so that we can give it to another group of people. And so help is coming, but when it comes, use it judiciously, and if you're able to pay back, we'll use it to help your sister or your brother who is also in need of it. Dressmakers too, we're going to decentralize the sewing of the school uniforms. And so if we're sewing school uniforms for the children in Gushegu, the Gushegu dressmakers are the ones who must sew the school uniforms, not somebody from somewhere sewing it for the children in Gushegu. Aside from that, we have a program we call the National Apprenticeship Program. We're going to administer it through your district administration. And so what we'll do is, we'll register all the master craftsmen, so the master dressmakers, the master hairdressers, the master mechanics, the master masons. We'll register all of you. But you must be in a decent place where you can train apprentices. And government will give the money to your district assembly to give to you. And will give you the apprentices to train them. And you have a little money that you give them for their chop money every day until they graduate and they finish, so that we take that burden off the parents. And so help is coming and we will come to your aid. But aside from that, you have bigger issues, and those issues, we have bigger issues, and those issues include water. The women of Gushegu are suffering because you have a shortage of water. And so I told the chief that when we come, one of our priorities is to make sure that Gushegu gets enough water so that everybody can get water to drink. Aside from that, we started the road project, especially Gushegu, Karaga, Tamale. I didn't think that I'll come back 8 years later and that road is not finished. Obviously, if FDC was still in power, we would have finished that road long ago. So when we come, that road will continue. And I know that you have other roads that are important. Some of them we did before we left office. Others were not able to start. But when we come, we'll continue so that we improve the road network in the Gushegu area. The next issue, and the most important, is peace and security. I have a complaint that armed robbers are disturbing you here, especially the market women. Anytime you go for market day and you're coming back, the armed robbers will lay you, steal your little capital and take your goods away. I can assure you that when NDC comes, we're going to equip your police service with vehicles and the right equipment so that they can battle these armed robbers and make sure that you are safe in this place. Because without safety, there can be no progress. You cannot do anything if you don't feel safe. In the night, many of you are afraid to travel because you are afraid you run into armed robbers. I can assure you that when NDC comes, this will be a thing of the past. This year we're going to have elections, and we must learn the lessons of the past. There are two kinds of people. Some of them come with very sweet mouths, and they'll come and deceive you. That if we win power, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this. Yet it's a castle, a family. And there's so many things that they said. One village, one dam, one district, one factory. $1 million per constituency per year. I work at the Bank of Ghana, the money is there. All these things were said. Today we know the reality. Another category of people will come with money, and they will come and share money to you. But if you take that money and you spend it, it will finish. And then you come back and sit in your poverty. But I want to tell you that that money is for you. So when they bring it, I beg you, collect it. Don't let it go. Idema, what's on the granaki? Legrama, you didn't yell it. And the cat, the bunch nothing will happen to you. Because if somebody takes your money and brings it back to you and you spend your thing, why would anything happen to you? We went to a by-election in Asenov. They came with car boots full of these 200, the red 200 Ghana notes. Everybody, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. And the people collected it. We told them to collect it. They collected it. But they voted where they wanted to vote. And no president. There's something parliamentary candidate, can majority parliament. Can campaign, can